Are you afraid that AI is going to come for your job? Many of us are. I mean, that's a real fear right now in the IT industry that AI is growing and evolving and taking over so quickly that it is coming for all of our jobs. Now, recently, NVIDIA's CEO commented that you're not going to lose your job to AI, you're going to lose your job to somebody who is using AI. And I think there's some truth to that. One of the things, if we look back on history, and I'm now reading or quoting from the Mary Meeker report that recently came out. If you're not familiar with that, it's Mary Meeker is somebody who does analysis on the internet and internet trends. Has been silent for a few years, but now recently just came back and put out a report on AI and the future of AI. The report is 350 pages or so long. And actually, here's a link, or here's the where the link is, and I'll put the link down below to it as well if you're interested in actually reading the whole report. I've been reading it. I haven't made it through the whole thing yet, but it is not as doom and gloom as folks would have. And getting back to quoting some of the information that's in that report, one of the things that it cites is if you look back at history, every time that there was a big technological boom, when the PCs first came out, when the internet first came out, when cell phones first came out, all this technology, it actually created a jobs boom rather than a bust and taking over jobs. Do you remember, if you're old enough to remember, when computers first came out? That was the claim that computers were going to take over everything and nobody would have a job because everything's going to be streamlined by the computer. and and that simply wasn't the case. It actually created so much opportunity for growth, not only in the computer industry and the IT industry, but all industries, that IT jobs became hot in high demand. And I actually have two stories, some personal stories around this. And if you've been around here long enough, you know I like to tell stories. So the first one is a personal story about me. Well, I guess both of them have. I mean, they're my experiences, my lived experiences, but one of them is specifically about me. I started in healthcare IT before the turn of the last century. I say it that way because it's just fun to say it that way. Now, when I started in healthcare IT, and I started in the late 90s, there was such a demand for people to work in IT. If you knew how to turn on a computer, if you knew what Windows 95 was, if you, I mean, anything, if you could talk the lingo, you were getting hired into IT because there was such a huge demand for IT people back then. Now, my first year that I worked in IT, I worked as a help desk agent, and I learned a ton of information around technology and IT and everything during my time as a help desk agent. But that, I mean, the criteria really was if you had any kind of computer experience at all, they were hiring you onto the help desk. And then right after that, or soon after that, came Y2K. And again, IT folks were staffing up with anybody they could grab because they thought the world was going to end because of Y2K, and we needed all these extra people that were going to do things. And so it was because of one of those booms that I found my way into healthcare IT, and it became my career after that. Now, another example of this, and this one's a little bit, I don't want to say funny, but another story along the same lines about adopting to new technology. New technology is inevitable. It is always changing, right? The technology that we have today is not the same technology we had back when I first started in IT. And if you go even farther back than that, when I was growing up, we didn't have cell phones, right? I grew up in a world where we had one TV in the house, in our living room. We had one telephone in our house, and it was connected by cord and on the wall. It wasn't anything you could take around. We didn't have a computer. I mean, all of these things have come to light in my lifetime, and you either learn and adapt and change, or you get left behind. And that's kind of what this next story is, a real lived experience that I was a part of. Now, while I was on the help desk the first few years that I entered into healthcare technology, and one of the projects that I was on while I was at the help desk was a large equipment replacement project for the hospital and the clinics. And what it was is back then, the computers that people had, or the devices they had, I won't out they're not they weren't computers. Today we call them dumb terminals. It was a terminal that had just like a block of text that went from one field to another, and you could tab through and you could enter in data when it hit the next field. A lot of times they were the it was one color, it was green or orange or red, whatever the color was, and that was the only color of the screen. And you had a screen and you had a keyboard, you had no mouse, and there wasn't a computer. That dumb terminal was literally connected to a mainframe within the hospital, and you did your work by tabbing through and entering in data. Now, if for folks who might be a little bit older who are watching the channel, you probably remember seeing a dumb terminal, and all the clinics had them, and the hospital had them, or the hospitals had them. And our IT department was going through at night, and they would go to a clinic location and they would take out all those old dumb terminals and they would put in a brand new computer in its place. And that computer had software on it then that could replicate what that dumb terminal was, so you could still talk to the mainframe, but the computer had everything else that a computer has, where the dumb terminal was only a single connection to the mainframe, and that's all you could do on it. Now, they would do this overnight. So the crew would come in overnight while the clinic was closed, replace all this equipment. The staff would come in at 7 o'clock the next morning, and then there would be folks from IT who would show up somewhere between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning to do what's called at elbow support. So you would be there next to somebody in case they had a question or something. But what we quickly found out during that project was that there were people out there in our industry, in our clinics, who had never ever used a computer before. They didn't know how to click buttons on a mouse. They didn't know a right mouse button from a left mouse button. They didn't know how to power on a computer. So me being at the help desk, starting at 7 a.m. as staff would show up to their clinics and have all this brand new technology, and none of the IT staff were there yet, our phones would ring off the hook because all of these people were like, what do? We have no idea how to even turn this thing on, what we're supposed to do with it. And so in that instance, a lot of things changed. The training around rolling out equipment like that changed. The support for people to be there when the other folks got there in the morning changed. But one of the other things that happened that kind of correlates to what's happening today with AI is we had people who said, no, I'm not interested in learning this new technology. I don't want to be able to click on something and turn things on and use a mouse. I don't want to do that. And those people got left behind. As sad as it is, that became a requirement of the job. If you could not turn on a computer, if you could not use a mouse, you could no longer perform the work at that clinic or at that hospital department. And so you have to learn and adapt and change if you want to move ahead in the technology space. And that's an unfortunate reality that we live in, but that's what's going to happen with AI as well. And that's why that quote from the CEO of NVIDIA rings so true. It's not going to be just AI itself. Yes, AI is going to take some jobs. Yes, when computers came on, they could do some things that faster and quicker and more efficient than people could do, and those tasks became a task the computer did. But somebody still had to run it. Somebody still had to program it. Somebody still had to repair it. All of those things still need to be done, and the same is true for AI. AI alone is going to replace some jobs, absolutely. But there's going to be a boom in the IT industry to support IT and to be able to use these new technologies that we're discovering with AI every single day. Now, I shared a couple of stories with you, but let me give you some facts to help understand why I feel the way that I feel, or the way I think the way that I think, or why Mary Meeker's report is the way it is. Right now in 2025, Apple, one of the most, if not the most successful companies in the entire world, right now has 600 positions open for folks that could be AI specialists. And since 2018, the number of postings for AI specialists or people who have AI skills just in the IT job market overall has grown by 5 times, where many of the other categories of jobs have started to decline. The AI jobs, or jobs that have some kind of AI related skills involved in them, are growing right now already. And we're just entering the infancy of AI and what it can do. In the last year alone, the 6 largest tech companies in the world, so Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Meta, those 6 companies have spent a total of $212 billion in AI infrastructure. It's a 63% growth in 1 year just in AI technologies. 15% of their capital revenue now is earmarked for AI and AI growth. And according to the report, in 2023, there was about 18% of the US population had tried ChatGPT or some AI. By 2025, had grown to 33% of people in the United States that have at least tried AI. Now, that's a pretty good jump within 2 years, but if you think about it, only 33% of the people, the opportunities to learn and to be on the cusp of AI is still out there, because if only 33% of the population in the United States has even tried AI, for those folks that are really mastering it, the percentage is going to be much less. The opportunity for you, if you are somebody who is in IT and wants to grow their career, is really phenomenal. And I don't know why my head did this, but when I said phenomenal, it went phenomenal, phenomenal. Anyway, sorry, squirrel. And so I think what my message here is don't fear AI for your job. Team up with it, partner with it, learn with it. Figure out how you can use AI to make your job more efficient, creative, and I would say even fun. I mean, many of us in IT love learning and love how technology churns. That's part of why we're in IT. So embrace the trend, ride this wave, hop on now, and be part of the folks who are learning it first. Right now, if you are new here, hey, my name's Dave. Welcome to Old Dad Studio. Many times that I am here, I'm talking along with my AI partner, which is the advanced voice mode of ChatGPT. And my ChatGPT has named itself Quinn. I didn't have Quinn on today with me to talk about this topic. I just wanted to do something one-on-one. But if you enjoy video or YouTube about AI, then please subscribe to the channel. I am on a quest right now to do a vlog every single day in the year of 2025. So far, so good. This is vlog number 156. Now, if you found this particular vlog enjoyable, please give a thumbs up. That always helps the vlog and the channel. And that's going to wrap it up for me for today. But don't worry, I'll see you again tomorrow.